Welcome to my home, the headquarters of The Last Drop. I'm James Espy, one of the founders of this fun and unique brand that we have created. I'm sitting today with Tom Jago, one of the great creative men of the industry, is my friend and partner, Ben Harkin to join the board, and unfortunately Peter Fleck, one of our other directors, is in South Africa, and Rebecca Jago is in her office beavering away. We've had a lot of fun working for IDV, one of the greatest liquor companies in the world in the 70s, when we had unfettered access to innovation and creativity, spearheaded by Tom. And between us, which may sound a bit arrogant, we created Bailey's Irish Cream, his invention, Croft Ports and Sherries. Ben was one of the driving force. Pete and I are heavily involved in Malibu. And we had a lot of fun doing things that were different and unconventional.
Pierre d'Or too.
Oh, Pierre d'Or, la Française d'Or, le Pierre d'Or.
Yeah.
And then we moved to United Distillers, that is Tom and I, and we there were involved in creating Johnny Walker Blue Label and the classic malts. And my last corporate move, because I couldn't go anywhere without my good friend Tom, was to Seagram, where I shared the Shivers and Glenlivet group, and we launched Shivers Regal 18 and launched Shivers Regal Whiskey in China in 1993, because building brands is a long-term process. It always takes at least 10 years to build a brand. And here we are, 3 years later, reviewing the progress of The Last Drop. But it's the five of us that are having fun building this unique little brand, which started in this garden. Tom and I came up with the concept of registering a company called The Last Drop Distillers Limited, before there is no more. And the idea was really to see if we could find rare, old, fresh, but luxury items that we could package and present in a very interesting but not ostentatious way.
Which were genuinely of a limited quantity. I mean, the two we've got there were 1,300 odd bottles of the whiskey, and that's all there was. When it's gone, it's sold, we have to do something else. The cognac's only 482 bottles, and that's the limit.
So tell us what you think about the packaging, Tom.
Well, the packaging is as simple as can be. We wanted to convey the idea that although this is a very high-priced item, and worth it because there is no more, it's not the pack that we're selling, it's the contents. And we reckoned that the kind of connoisseur who was going to buy this would have already all the baccarat decanters he needed. And we couldn't compete with that and wouldn't try. So we said, we'll give you sober, luxurious but simple packaging in a nice leather box with velvet inside and a little bottle so you can sample it without, if you're a collector, without actually broaching the wax sealed cork.
We're fortunate to work with good friends. Morrison Bowmore Distillers handle all of our packaging, administration and shipping, so it's a very professional operation. And indeed, we found the original whiskey in their cellars. So they ship it on our behalf. But of course, how good is it? That is the question. So we took it around the world and asked people to evaluate it and taste it. And the good news is the Whiskey Bible, Jim Murray, Tom knows Jim, he sent some samples to him, and what do you think Jim thought?
Well, Jim gave it a 96.5 rating, which is, he calls whiskey to make you glad you're alive. And it is the highest blended whiskey rating he's ever given. And it kept this rating through 4 years, so it's consistent against competition from nearly 5,000 whiskies around the world.
It's luxury right at the top for those very few people who really want to have something which other people can't have.
And we wouldn't do anything, sell anything that wasn't delicious of its kind, and I think this is one of the best things we've ever tasted.
It comes down to ruthless selection, and we behind the scenes have a ruthless selection process. We were looking at a port the other day. It happened to be 1875. Age, yes, but in terms of actually what we wanted, it just didn't cut the mustard.
Not quite.
And we're probably now in about 14 or 15 markets. So we're quite proud of it when we think about the fact that it's just a few of us on our own, wandering around the globe, talking to people and introducing our precious little gift. And people are asking us, well, what's next? So Tom and I, supported by Ben, are on the hunt. Yeah, what do you think's next, Tom?
Well, I'm going to Scotland next month. These are very difficult things to find, because if they are very old, most very old drinks, as everybody knows, may be old, but they taste horrible. The wood finishes them off at the end. The angels take, as they say, the evaporation, that is, takes the majority of the stuff after 60 years. But that doesn't necessarily improve the taste. We have to find somewhere where the taste has survived and improved all that time.
And although it's old but fresh, it's
like
not
us.
that expensive, Ben. Because people say, well, what is the price? When we started with the last drop 3 years ago, we positioned it at about 2,000 US and 1,000 pounds. Today, its price is about 1,300 pounds for the Scotch whisky, and between $2,200 and $3,000 on the world stage, depending on where you are. And the cognac is about 1,600 pounds, and you can extrapolate that in dollars.
The last drop signifies something very special, not factory made, but found and created, limited in quantity. And then we decided that we would make it the brand name for a selection of very small quantities of rare, beautiful, old and delicious tasting spirits.
We are selling vintage Bugattis or of the like. There are only 1,347 bottles of the whisky. There'll never be any more. There are only 478 bottles of the 60-year-old cognac. There'll never be any more, because that's our slogan: before there is no more. Now,
Thank you.
You want a drink?
Yes, we talk about the bloody stuff. Let's have a drink.
Well,
Right.
yeah. Slangevar. Cheers.
Your health, my boy.
Thank you for joining us.
Success. One thing about being a small board is we can easily agree. Great stuff.